get that going. Meeting is being live streamed. Good. Okay, so now we're live streaming it. Fantastic. Okay, so we're streaming on live, and let me record this as well. Record in the cloud. Fantastic. All right, so let's get started. Hi guys, welcome to another class of New York Budo Association. My name is Sensei Mitch. I'm one of the senior instructors here, and thank you for joining me. Big shout out and thank you to Illisum Tabi. So these are like Tabi sneakers. If you haven't checked them out, ilysm.com. They're awesome, really good for Budo training. I can't recommend them enough. Good arch support, and they're kind of cool if you want to just have cool sneakers to walk around in. So big shout out and big thank you to them. So we're gonna have, it's a little chilly here in Brooklyn. I want to get warmed up and get moving. So I hope you enjoy the class. And a big shout out to our friends, Oleg, Dmitry, and Zlata from Ukraine. Again, our thoughts are with you and our friend Norbert in Munich. So thank you guys for joining us. Let's have a great class. Today we're gonna do basic warm-ups, and then we're gonna do some standing knee on kata, because obviously I don't have my mat here and I don't have knee pads on. So my deck is pretty hard and I don't want to destroy my knees. So let's bow in and we'll get started. Shomini, right? Tensini, right? Otigani, right? Onegaishimasu. Tony, right? And let's get started right away. So this is not a beginner's class. I'm not going to go into very basic stuff. We're going to plow through our warm up really quickly to get warmed up. And then we're going to do standing Nidan kata today. Norbert is working on Nidan. Norbert, your next test would be for Sandan, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so we'll see how much Nidan we can get done. Maybe we can do some Sandan as well. So we'll go from there. Sounds good? Fantastic. All right, so let's start with Kamae. Kamae is extremely important. We're going to run through it. Follow along with me. We're going to go pretty fast. And being that it's only Norbert, Dmitry, and Oleg, and Zlata, I don't think you guys are training. So I'm not going to go, if you're not training, I'm not going to call on you. But Norbert, you and I are going to have like basically a private lesson if these guys are watching. So you guys ready? Here we go. So Iai Gosh. Seiga no Kamae. Eira no Kamae. Jusuri no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Tora no Kamae. Tombo no Kamae. Aki Tombo no Kamae. Tombo no Kamae. Wakigame no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. In no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Yo no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Hanji no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Kochuburi. Noto. Back to Iai Gosh. Good. Let's do it one more time. I'll do it sideways so you can see a different angle. I'll do it at a slightly different angle. This way. How's that? Actually, I'll go this way because you can see Tombo and Wakigame. All right. I'll go this way. All right. Here we go. One more time. Nice and strong. Good Kamae. Ready? Iai Gosh. Seiga no kamae. And I'll back up a little bit. Eira no kamae. Jusuri no kamae. Seiga no kamae. Tora no kamae. Tombo no kamae. Baki tombo no kamae. Tombo no kamae. Wakigame no kamae. Seiga no kamae. In no kamae. Seiga no kamae. Yo no kamae. Seiga no kamae. Anji no kamae. Seiga no kamae. Kochiburi
Uchipuri.
no to. Very good. So make sure your kamae are nice and sharp, nice and crisp. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out or yell or wave, and I'll stop and we'll go over something. Okay. It's a little chilly back here. Again, sun's going down, going behind the building. So I want to start moving and warm up. So next we're going to do suburi. Suburi, let's make sure that when we slide forward, we go into yo position, slide up, in position. Yo, in. Yo, in. Your feet are sliding forward and sliding up. But you always want to maintain this position. So my right foot is always slightly in front of my left foot, okay? So you want to slide forward, keeping your feet on the ground, okay? Please make sure, this is an advanced thing to be mindful of, is when you cut, try not to bounce. So make sure you have proper tenuche, proper grip, and when you cut, you're squeezing and stopping the cut at the time. So first one, nice and soft, nice breathing out with the cut, yo position to in position. Here we go. Let's do 20 together. Nice and soft, nice and relaxed. Ready? Ich, ni, sam, shi, ko, rok, shich, hach, kyu, chu, ich, ni, sam, shi, ro, rok, shich, hach, kyu, chu. Fantastic, really good. So with this, make sure you don't bounce, okay? And make sure you're cutting all the way down to chudan. So Norbert, make sure when you bring this, make sure you bring the sword all the way down below your head. You don't want the sword up here. So make sure the sword is all the way down below, okay? Don't change your grip. Open your, slide forward, open your chest, keeping your grip. Slide forward, closing your chest and squeezing your thumbs forward, proper tenuche. All right, let's do the next one. Cutting, stopping chudan, okay? Good strong ki. So it's nice out. It's nice and quiet in my neighborhood. I don't want to make too much noise, but I'll do one or two of them just to show a good strong ki, breathing from your tanden. So starting in Seigan. Hey! 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 Stopping chudan. Okay, so again, I don't want to make a lot of noise. I'm in my backyard. I don't want to bother my neighbors too much. So breathing out, good strong breath with your mouth, okay? Let's do 30. Here we go, all together. Ready? Ich, ni, sam, shi, ko, rok, shich, hach, kyu, chu, ich, ni, sam, shi, ko, rok, Shich, hutch, cute, shoot, each, eat, stomp, sheet, roll, rook, sheech, hutch, you, shoot. Very good. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Good. So these are meant to be nice, strong cuts, stopping chudan level. Okay, stopping chudan is middle level. When we're stopping with proper grip. So proper tenuch, like a gun hand, making sure that the ska is in the palm of your hand, right? One side and two sides. This grip does not change. Okay, at least you try not to change it as best you can. Okay, so there is kamaete, which is this position. Kirite, kirite is pushing the thumbs forward. Kirite. Tomite is pushing your arms forward. So, kirite, tomite it's like a transition. It's not separate. So it's kirite, tomite. So you're basically putting the brakes on with your hand muscle, your thumb, pushing your thumb forward and your forearm and your chest. And you're using your forearm and your chest to push forward to stop the cut. Okay? So try to make sure that you're stopping the cut in that way on all of these exercises. It's something more advanced. So when you're doing this, even on the first one, you're doing it nice and soft. You're still kirite tomite. Kirite tomite, right? Stopping it, right? Controlling that cut with your grip and with your forearm and your chest, right? So you're stopping the cut where you want to stop the cut. The sword is just an extension of your body rather than you using the sword like like a baseball bat or something, right? So this will also help maintain your monuch and put the energy in the tip of the sword, the kasaki. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to do 50 all together. Now we're going to do, we call this tanden exercise. So this is ya-a. So breathing, okay? So try this for a quick second. I'll do this a little bit here. So put your hand on your lower abdomen here. Relax your knees. Inhale through your nose. And then exhale, ya, and you're pushing the breath down and out. And I'll do two. Again, I don't want to bother my neighbors too much. Ya. So pushing down and expanding your lower abdomen, your tanden, or in Chinese, I think they call it the ha. So you're breathing through your lower abdomen. You want to think of it like a ball of air. With this next exercise, we're going to do 50 altogether, starting in Seigan. The second you're in Seigan, the second the tip moves, second you're in Seigan, you inhale with your nose, inhale, and then as the tip moves, once the sword starts to move, you breathe out the entire way. Ya. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Ya. Let's do 50 all together. Try to concentrate on the breathing. Make sure that you are bringing the sword all the way behind, opening your chest, closing your chest, and then again, kirite tomite, stopping that cut. All right, let's do 50 all together. You guys ready? Here we go. H, ya, hey, ni, ya, hey, sam, ya, hey, shi, ya, hey. Go, ya, hey, broke, ya, hey, sheech, ya, hey, hutch, ya, hey, cute, ya, hey, shoot, ya, hey, each, ya, hey, neat, ya, hey, some, ya, hey, Shi, hey, go, hey, rock, hey, sheech, hey, hutch, hey, cute, hey, shoot, hey, each, hey, neat, hey, some, hey, sheep, hey, oh, hey, rock, hey, sheech, hey, hutch, hey, cute, hey, shoot, hey, each, hey, neat, hey, some, hey, sheep, hey, oh, hey, rock, hey, sheech, hey, hutch, hey, cute, hey, shoot, hey, each, hey, neat, hey, some, hey, sheep, hey, oh, hey, rock, hey, sheech, hey, hutch, hey, cute, hey, shoot, hey. Fantastic. Really good, guys. Take a good clean breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Fantastic. So these are basic suburi. Make sure that when you're doing this is another little tip. When you want to always keep your grip again. When you bring your sword behind you, all the way here, make sure, I'm going to turn around so you can see my hands, make sure that you don't change your grip. So don't open your grip to open your chest, close your grip, and then cut. Make sure you keep that grip. So think of your hands locked in that position, and the only thing that can move at this point is your chest opening. Open your chest, closing your chest, bringing the sword forward. Really good. Okay, so let's do tombo cuts. First, before we do tombo, I always break it down. Every class, it's very important to try to cut tombo this way, which will help you get a good, strong cut. Tombo is cutting casagiri from shoulder to hip, okay? It's about a 45-degree angle. So we're doing, we try not to use our arms too much. We're pushing forward rather than throwing the tip out like in other systems. We study at New York Budo Association a style called Rushin Shochi Ryu, which is off of the Tenshin Sho Jigen Ryu line, which is off the Katori Shinto Ryu lineage. And I know I'll get in trouble for saying that, but so be it. That's where it comes from. So we're using our bodies to make this cut, and I'm going to show you how to make this cut. So first thing is first, our feet, and I'll pull my hakama up a little bit just so you can see my feet. So again, shoulder width apart. Okay, I'm going to step straight back like a railroad track, and I'm going to bend my knee. Bending my knee, you can see my knee now, over my big toe. My weight is leaning forward. My back is straight. Okay. And my back foot is not up like this, but it's slightly up, almost like a leaf could fall underneath the back heel. Okay, but my knee is over. If I look down, I should be able to see my big toe. I should be right over it. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is we're leaning our weight forward on our left foot, and you're going to turn this foot here out. So let's do that 3 times. Just lean on your left foot and turn. Good. Again, lean and turn. One more time, leaning and turn. Very good. So what are we doing? We're opening our hip so we can drop our center, our weight forward and down. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to, as you lean forward, turn your heel, you're going to step forward with your back foot falling forward, and your hips are now open. You're going to drop your weight down and open your hips. Okay? So you're stepping straight. Okay? So this is a big thing that I want everyone and Norbert be mindful of. When you're doing this, when you step forward, don't step in front of your body. You want to make sure you're stepping in a parallel line. You want to be able to be facing forward. Try to keep your back straight. You don't have to step too deep. This is too deep. And you don't have to step too wide. So you want to step just comfortable, parallel, just dropping your weight forward. Almost like if you were walking and you just tripped and you caught yourself. That's the feeling you want to get. Okay? So let's do 3 of these all together. Leaning forward. Knee. Sam. Fantastic, really good. So I think Dimitri dropped out. So I'm going to shut my my waiting room off. So hopefully we won't get any trolls or anything, but this way he can come back in when he wants to. Okay, fantastic. So another little variation on this, and Norbert, you can do this if you want to try it. Oleg, if you want to try this, instead of stepping and then stepping forward, another way you can do this is you can just switch your feet. So switching your feet. So you're basically just dropping, jumping up and swapping your feet like that is another way to do it. A little more advanced. So if you think about the first one, you're moving forward and down. The second one is you're just staying in the same space, right? You're just stepping back. And the question I had for Sensei last time was, can you go backwards? Can you go backwards? So I'm still playing with that. I think it might be something interesting. Anyway, so, oh, sorry. So the next thing before we do swords, the next thing is yo to in. So again, yayosh, right? Make sure your knee is over your big toe. Open your chest like a push-up, okay? Open your chest, make sure your arms are all the way back like this, okay? And I want you to push, breathing out and breathing, puff up your cheeks and breathe and push to the left side, to the left corner. Not in the center, but to the left. Extending your arms all the way, both arms straight, okay? So when I'm pointing, I'm not pointing here, but I'm pointing where I want the cut to go, okay? And I'm just pushing with my chest. Ready? Let's do this 3 times. Each. Ni. Sam. Fantastic, really good. So this is yo to in position. Now we're gonna combine falling forward and down and pushing from yo to in. Here we go. Ready? So tombo no kamae. Make sure your belly button is forward. So a good way to check this, guys, is to put the sword right on your belly button. So right now you can see my belly button is not forward. The sword is going off to the side here. So if I turn my back heel out, you can see my heel turns my hip forward. Now my hip is forward, right? This is proper tombo. So tombo no kamae, and we're gonna fall forward and cut. Ready? Let's do it 10 times. Here we go. Each. Ni. Sam. Chi. Go. Rok. Shich. Hach. Q. Shoot. Very good, guys. So this is cutting casagiri, and when we cut, make sure that you are extending your arms all the way out, both arms. Don't bend this elbow. This happens to my students in class all the time, where they cut and they do this. So you're shortening the cut. you need to extend your arms. Think about kirite, tomite, okay? Right? Make sure you keep that cut. All right, really good, guys. Now let's do tenku no touch, gyo, shin, and so. Today, I want you to be mindful of letting that arm, again, come forward, okay? Letting that arm come forward, okay? So letting those arms, letting that arm, especially your right arm, letting that energy come forward. So when we're cutting, okay, you're in iaigoshi, you're pushing your hand flat and you're pushing into in position, right? Collapsing, rolling your fingers, roll as you push your hips forward, you're rolling your fingers, making that cut. Now my hand is in proper tenuchi, proper grip. I open my chest. I let the momentum bring my chest closed again. I'm still in proper grip. Once the sword touches my saya here, my hand goes flat and I push it across my body to the left side. So it should be one as smooth a motion as possible. Okay, so that's the goal. The key is try not to stop the momentum. You want to be flat, but try not to stop the momentum, break the momentum here, but allow the sword to come forward, then touch and step. Okay, and we're stepping straight back like a railroad track. Let's do 10 all together. Here we go. Nice and relaxed. This is gyo, stepping back. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. O. Ro. Shich. Hach. Q. Chu. Really good. So be mindful, allow that sword to come forward. Pushing, rolling your fingers as you push your hips forward, making that cut. The cut is happening in front of you. Let the sword come all the way back, opening your chest. Opening your chest, allow your chest to close. Bring the sword, when the chest closes, it naturally brings the sword forward. Once the sword is forward, I'm in proper grip still. My saya is flat. I touch flat. You can touch as, you know, if you have arms here, you have longer arms, that's fine. And then once you touch, you're pushing across to the left side, pushing to the left and stepping straight back like a railroad track. That pulls your hip back and then you step up. Okay, really good. So be mindful of allowing the arm to come forward, touching, and you can see that I'm not here. If you can get as close to the tip as you can, that's great. But for me, my arm comfort level, I'm about here. So I bring the sword forward, I touch. Once I touch, my hand goes flat and I'm pushing forward. And if I don't step back or pull my hips back, you can see that when I push forward, you can see that the sword is almost touching my forearm here, right? So when I step back, it drops right into my saya. Okay? So you have to kind of trust yourself that it's lined up perfectly. So when you pull your hip back, it drops in. Okay? That way you don't have to sit there and pull the sword out and rank it around. Okay? All right. Now let's do 10 more. Let's do 10 more shin, gyo, just to work on that a little bit. Nice and slow, 10 more. Here we go. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Shich. Broke, sorry. Shich. Hach. Q. Ju. Very good. So again, nice and slow, nice and easy. And for people who are on YouTube, if you want to train with us, we do, I'm in Brooklyn, we're based in New York City. We're a not-for-profit organization. If you want to train with us online, you don't have to live in New York City. It's the best thing about it. So we have students from all over. Go on to patreon.com/NYBA and you can come train with us. We'd love to have you. So give us a smash the like button or subscribe, and you can follow us. We do post classes once in a while, so we hope you enjoy it. All right, so back to lesson, guys. So now let's do we did gyo, let's do shin. Shin is more advanced. So shin, the only difference is instead of letting your arm come all the way back and all the way forward, right? You're letting the arm come all the way back. With shin, you're controlling that cut, stopping the cut parallel to your body, okay? And you're using that same momentum to close your chest and bring the sword forward. That's why shin is more difficult, okay? So shin is close to what we do in kata usually. And this one, we're also not stepping straight back, but we're actually just pulling our hip back and pushing our hip forward, okay? So advanced, you can control. For beginners, I want everyone to try to stop the cut here with tenuch. For advanced, you can try to stop the cut. Instead of stopping it here, you can try to move the angle in. You can almost try to get the cut to be, stopping the cut as close to as the center as possible. It's difficult because what you're doing is you're controlling that opening and closing. It gets smaller and smaller to use that momentum forward. Let's do 10 all together. This is shin. Just pulling your hips back. Ready? Each. Eat. Sam. Shi. Roll. Rock. Shich. Hutch. Q. Shoot. Really good. So for you, Norbert, what I want you to work on this week is this. As you're drawing, I want you to push the sword out, and Oleg, you can do this if you're training. Push the sword out into in position, and right before it comes out, push hard. Try to get that momentum, almost like a flick. Okay? Try to make it sure you're in position and then snap into your position. Okay? Let's do 5 more. Shin, just pulling our hips back. Ready? Here we go. Each. Ni. Sam. sheet. Go. Really good, guys. So these are really good exercises. It's good to practice this. It gets that rhythm going, and you start learning how to control that momentum of bringing the sword back. And when we do kata, all the kata are based on that transition of yo to in or in to yo, making those transitions. So this technique, if you can do this one really well, you'll be able to do inazuma really, really well, because this is the same as this. It's the same thing. The difference is it's different angle. All right, so that's warm-up exercise. Let's do so. Let's do them 3 times. Nice and meditative. These are supposed to be done as slow as possible. Think of one speed, one note being played. Everything is nice and slow. So try to concentrate on all those little details we went over and try to make your technique as perfect as you can. That's why this is nice and slow, and it's great to go and think about what you're doing, okay? So let's do 3 times. Let's concentrate on in and yo transitions. I'll call them out in the first one, and then we'll do them for the next 2. Ready? Iaigosh. H, in position. Yo position. Yo. In position. Chuyo. Inhale, in position. Yo position. In position. And then chuyo. Ni. Sam. Fantastic. Really good, guys. So that's the basic warm-up exercises, and let's do some kata now. So bear with me. I'm going to look up the Nidan Kachiwaza. So this is standing kata. We're going to start with Morote casagiri. Oh, and then Tora bashiri. Okay, fantastic. So these kata are for Norbert. So Morote casagiri is one of my favorites. I really like it. It's a good, strong cut. The difference is there's katate casagiri, which is one-handed casagiri, and then Morote casagiri, two-handed casagiri. So this is just stepping forward and cutting casagiri. So I'll demonstrate it once or twice, and then I'll break it down, and we'll do it a couple of times. So what am I doing? This is basically stepping forward into yo position, drawing into yo position, grabbing the ska and falling into in position. So this is basically, in my opinion, the end half of, it's almost like the end half of inazuma, okay? So we begin in iaigoshi, okay? As I step forward, I'm drawing forward and up, and I'm drawing to about above the shoulder of my opponent, okay? I'm pushing flat on the ska. I step forward and I push forward with the ska. The fingers roll and the sword comes forward. Once the sword is forward and I'm in proper grip here, my chest is open. I'm grabbing the bottom of the handle, the ska, and I'm cutting casagiri, opening my hip, cutting casagiri. Once I'm here, it's a quick scoop. So this is like you're sweeping the sword away to kind of reload. In Azuma, we do a big pronounced version like this. In this kata, it's closer, it's like a scoop. So you're scooping right back up into tumble, and you can always cut again if you have to, right? But this is just the kata. So from here, tumble no kamai, this is zashin, so nice and slow. Transition to wakigame, nice and slow. Step forward into seiga no kamai, and then o suburi and noto. And just quickly, I know someone had commented a couple of weeks ago about our wakigame being, it should be behind you, right? And it should be here. We originally learned it this way. Yahage sensei has changed it since then, and he wants it on our hip, and he wants it facing down, but slightly back. So it's not completely hidden anymore. I always thought it was better hidden, but I'm not the headmaster. And when he makes a change or makes a tweak and he's mindful about it, we have to follow it. That's the way he teaches it. So he has his reasons. So back to wakigame. So again, everything is forward and out. So pushing forward and stepping forward. My hand is flat still. I roll my fingers. I'm in proper grip. I'm grabbing the back of my sword, the bottom of the tsuka, and I'm cutting casagiri. This is tombo. Then I'm scooping back to tombo, wakigame, seigan, and then o chuburi and noto. Okay, so everything is forward now. Be mindful that you don't bring the sword behind your head. And what do I mean by that? So this is no good. Cutting, right? And I'm really bringing the sword behind. So think about the sword transitioning out, rolling the fingers forward, and you're catching the sword. Okay, everything is forward and out. Let's try it 3 times all together, and then I'm going to call on you guys. All right, here we go. This is Morote casagiri. Ready? Hajime. Again, Morote casagiri. Hajime. One more time. Hajime. Fantastic. So let's see how you guys do. It's a little chilly still. I'm trying to warm up. All right, Norbert, you want to give it a shot? So let's see. All right, so let's see, Norbert. Ready? Here we go. Hajime. Beautiful, Norbert. Good, good. Good, Norbert. One more time, do it sideways, please. If you could do it either, yeah, to the right or to the left. Either way, doesn't matter. Ready? Hajime. Good, Norbert. One more time, do it to the other direction now. Ready? Relax. Hajime. Good, Norbert. Really good, Norbert. Okay, so Norbert, these are my comments for you. This is what I want you to work on, okay? Really good. So there's a lot of little things I want you to work on, okay? So first, be mindful that this is it. When you draw in Morote Kotigiri, this is you're drawing in directly into yo position, okay? And you want to make sure you're cutting casagiri. Your cuts seem to be going very steep, so make sure you're cutting casagiri, okay? So when you draw into yo position, stepping out and drawing up, yo, in, okay? So it's just yo to in. Yo, in. From here, don't bring the sword straight up, but try to bring the tip around and scoop it, like you're scooping it up. Scoop it up. And the point is that you're basically your opponent's sword is on the Omote side here. So you're basically throwing the sword around and potentially cutting them again if they bother you. So you want to make sure that when you cut, you're pulling the sword just like in an azuma. Instead of bringing it all the way around, up and over, you're basically cutting, and then it's like a scoop. Okay, so make sure you scoop it up really quick. Okay, once you're in tombo, wakigame, look good. Seigan, make sure your seigan looks very high. So this is too high, lower the tip down. Think about the kasaki being more aligned with the tsuba, right? So this is Rushin. Make sure it's here, not here, okay? And then for Ochiburi, this is the other thing I want you to be mindful of. You're doing really good here. When you're in this position, inhale with your nose, and as you inhale, bring the sword up. Bring it straight up over your head, and then stepping back. When you come back, try not to come back at this angle. This is too steep, right? So you want to be more comfortable, and the angle should be flat. If the angle is here, what happens is you're having to do weird things with your saya to fix that. So be mindful of trying to make sure that you're not bringing the sword back this way, but you're touching flat. And you'll find if you get flat, everything lines up much faster, but really good. Let's try it all together 2 more times, and then Oleg, if you have space, I don't know if you're training or not today, but you could give it a shot, okay? So let's do 2 more times, okay, guys? Here we go. This is Morote Kasagiri. Hajime. Again, Morote Kasagiri. Hajime. Good. All right, Oleg, you want to give it, do you have room? You want to give it a shot? You want to try?
I'm ready.
Okay. So Morote Kasagiri, don't knock anything over. Ready? Hajime. Good, Oleg. Good. One more time. Ready? Hajime. Good Oleg. Beautiful. Really, really good Oleg. So again, just be mindful that you don't have to go into in position on the draw on this. This is directly into yo position. Okay. So what's interesting, Oleg, is you're in a very tight space like Lata is. So the good news is that Rushin was designed for very tight spaces. It was for bodyguards during the Edo period. We use a shorter and lighter sword. So you start getting an understanding of why you have to learn how to control and generate power through your center here, right? It's like you don't have a big, big rooms to move around in. You have to be able to do it in a very small space and generate that power. So try not to pull in and then yo. So with this one, you're just pushing to yo. Yo in. Okay? So think about, but very good, okay? Awesome. So any questions about Morote casagiri? Yes, no? All good? All right, let's do the next kata. This is Tora bashiri, chudan. So this is number 2, Tora bashiri. First one, there are 2 opponents. On Tora bashiri, there are always 2 opponents, one in front of you, one behind you. The difference on this one is you are cutting ichimonji open and then kiryoshi, right? Or men, okay? So I'll demonstrate it once or twice, and then we're going to break it down. I'm going to show you. We're going to do it all together a couple times. So this is Tora bashiri chudan. Oh, sorry, Tora bashiri chudan always kotigiri now. It used to be ochiburi. Yahagi Sensei changed it. So what am I doing? First thing is the intention. You have to be able to push the first person back a little bit, attack the person behind you, and then come back to the first person. If that intention is not there, the person in front of you is just going to come in and attack. So it can't be right 1 and 2 because you didn't push this person back. So the thing I always talk about in Tora bashiri is that intention, or it's like when bullies used to make you try to flinch, right? And when I was growing up, they were always jerky kids, and they would always be like, "Oh yeah," and they would kind of flex at you or make you flinch, try to make you flinch. And by doing that, you back up a second, right? And if you backed up a second, it was like, "Oh look, he's a wimp," For us, our goal is to push back. Remember, we have 2 opponents, right? So they're both in Seigan, right? They're both in Seigan. Once I come forward and I push forward, this person thinks I'm going to cut. He backs up a second. When he backs up, the guy behind him goes, oh, he's cutting the guy in the forward. He begins to cut. You cut ichimonji. The guy in the front goes, oh, he's cutting behind the guy behind him. I'm going to cut now. He starts cutting and you cut through his cut. So that's me trying to explain the bunkai as best possible. Let's do it all together 3 times. This is Tora bashiri chudan. Here we go. You guys ready? Let's go nice and slow. So starting in iai goshi, hajime. So pushing forward in position, stepping back, yo position, cutting ichimonji, bring the sword over your head, yo position, squeezing in, yo. This is Zashin now. Seigan, kochiburi, noto. So again, starting in iai goshi, stepping, it's like a half step. So if you look at my feet, it's like a half step forward, right? And I'm pushing the sword out into in position. The sword is out, right? And I'm leaning forward. The person in front now thinks I'm going to step forward and I'm going to cut. Instead, I'm going to step back, cutting yo, open my chest, ichimonji, turn my hip forward, I'm in Jora no Kamai. I'm squeezing from yo position, squeezing, cutting, kiryosh, Jora no Kamai. Seiya no Kamai, Kochiburi, Noto. Okay, here we go. Let's do this 3 times all together. You guys ready? Here we go. Yagosh. Hajime. Again. Hajime. Again. Hajime. Fantastic. All right. Norbert, you want to give it a shot? This is Tora bashiri chudan. Chudan. All right, hold on. Let me pin you. All right, you ready, man? Here we go. Hajime. Good, Norbert. Good. Again, do it sideways, please. Ready? Good, Norbert. Really, really good. Beautiful. Beautiful, Norbert. All right, Norbert, these are for you. You ready? So, really, really good. So, Norbert, my only comment for you is when you come back on the transition from this, try to go into Jodan. Try not to bring the sword tip, let the sword tip drop. So, what do I mean by that? This is looking good. Your intention was good. Cutting Ichimonji. Try not to see my sword. Try not to bring see how my sword is down here. Try to bring the sword up into Jodan position here. This should be open your chest and then squeezing your chest, stepping forward and cutting. Okay? So think about when you cut, your hip turns and it goes right into Jodan. So a good practice is keep doing this only with one hand. So opening, yo, turning your hip into Jodan. Yo, turn your hip forward and your hand is in, and this is Jodan no Kamai, right? So try to keep that tip up. Try not to bring the tip behind you and then down, right? So the goal is that it's all moving forward. Everything is always trying to move forward, okay? Really good, Norbert. You want to try one more time? You only have 3 people here, and Zata's just watching. So this is like good, good, really good, Norbert. One more time, Norbert. One more time. One more time. Ready? Hajime. Beautiful. Really good, Norbert. Really nice. So, Norbert, this is the next thing I want you to do. Now that you have the Jodan down pretty easily, because that's an easy fix. Now what I want you to do is I want you to make it into one cut. So this is what I want. There's no stopping. So when you go into this position, yo, don't stop. Yo. So think about it all. Yo, and then pushing forward all in the same time. Yo, and in. So it should be like a big yo, a big in. Yo, in, yo. Okay? So that's what you want. You want it to feel like it's one powerful momentum. This is opening your chest up. You turn your hip up, but you're still creating this momentum here all the way up, squeezing. Boom. Okay? Really good, Norbert. Fantastic. All right, Oleg, you want to give it a shot? Remember, don't knock anything over. I know you're in a tight space. Okay, you ready? So, ready? Hajime. Beautiful, Oleg. Good, Oleg. One more time. Ready? Hajime. Good, Oleg. Beautiful, beautiful. Really good, Oleg. All right. So, Oleg, for you, everything is looking good. I know it's hard for me to see. It's hard for you to do it because you don't have a lot of running room. When you're drawing, don't look down. Try to look forward at the target. So look at the person that you're trying to cut. Step back, look at the target. Right. So try to keep your metsuge, your eyes forward. Okay.
Okay.
Really
Thank
good,
you.
guys. So let's do the next standing kata. This is one of my favorites. It's really difficult. This is Rentatsu Chuden. So again, 3 opponents, 1, 2, and 3. They are escorting you somewhere and you don't want to go. So you're killing all 3 people. It's considered really 1, 2 cuts, really. Like you're, 1, 2, 3, and you're cutting. So it's very, very quick. But there's a lot of little key transitions here. I'm going to do it a couple of times, and then I'm going to break it down. I'll explain what I'm doing. Okay? So what am I doing? There's a guy on the right of me, there's a guy on the left of me, and there's a guy in front of me. And we're all walking together, and they're escorting me somewhere. I don't want to go. So at this point, I begin my walk. So I'm left foot, right foot, left foot, the sword turns over, and I bring the sword across my body. As I step up with my right foot, I step up with my left foot, I'm pulling the sword out into yo position. The sword is flat, so try not to rock the boat, right? Try not to bring it up, but bring the sword flat, and I step forward with my right foot, half a step, ski, I stab the person to my left. The person on the right notices what I just did. I step back, and I cut his leg off, yo position, cutting yo position. The person in front of me, maybe he turns around, maybe he doesn't. If he doesn't, I push my hip forward, and I push the kasagi forward into the back of his head or into his face. If he does decide to cut, I step forward, opening my hand. This is a block. Rolling my fingers up again, proper tenuch. Open my chest, and I'm going to sink my weight, squeezing my chest, cutting casagiri, turning the sword tip over, feet together, and then spinning back more. So this is a really hard transition. This cutting and then pushing your hip forward, stepping up and cutting. So we're going to work on that a couple times, but let's do the kata a couple times together, and then we're going to break it down, and I'll see how you guys do. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's do it 3 times. Ready? Hajime. Left, right, left, turn the sword over, pull the sword out, yo position, step forward, in position, ski, this person, stepping back, cutting, yo position, pushing the tip forward, turning your hips, pushing the tip into the face, stepping up, yo, in, and then moari. Again. Hajime. Again. Ready? Hajime. One more time. I'll do it. I'll do it right here. So maybe I'm a little. I know it's getting a little dark. Hopefully, I'm not too. Hajime. Oh, so you're walking on this. Sorry. Hajime. Fantastic. Really good, guys. So let's see how you guys do. This is a really difficult kata. So this is definitely not an easy kata to do. So be patient with yourselves, and let's see how you guys do. All right, Norbert, you ready? Hajime. Good, Norbert. One more time, Norbert. Good, Norbert. Okay, Norbert, this is what I want you to work on today. Okay, so lots of little things, but overall pretty good. This is what I want you to work on. So as you're walking, okay, try to not bring the arm up. Try to keep everything flat. So you're opening yo in. So as you're walking, left, right, the sword comes across your body with the left, and you push the sword out, and pushing it flat, pushing it out and flat. You want to keep your arm flat. Try not to bring it up, because this is we talk about this being like the rocking the boat, right? Or rocking the baby cradle, right? So we don't want to do this. We want to keep the sword. There's a natural curve on the katana. So let's step into the curve of the katana. Open your chest, yo. Keep your fingers flat, right? And then you're going to squeeze your fingers, ski, keeping your chest forward, skiing. From here, you don't want to bring the sword up, but from here, once you ski, you're just going to step back and cut. So from here, ski, cut, ski, cut. And you want to just sink your weight. It has to be very direct. Ski, and then stepping back, cutting. And you don't have to go all the way back behind you. Remember, the person is right here. So I'm cutting their leg. Once I cut the leg, then I don't have to bring the sword up again. The tip just pushes forward. Okay? So from here, push the tip. Once the tip is forward, it doesn't come behind the head. Here, step up, and cut. So the sword never goes behind your head, okay? You want to try it again? All right. This is the benefit of like when no one shows up to class on Easter Sunday. Ready? So keep the sword flat. Good, good. Now step back and cut. Don't bring the sword up again. Just step open. So from here, just step back and cut. Beautiful. Now push the tip forward into my face. Step up with it. Right? Now transition forward. Beautiful. Much better. Much, much better. One more time. Ready? Flat. Step back. Good. Really good. Much better. Much, much better. Really good. So, Norbert, much, much better. So, you have to work on just overall, try not to bring the sword back up. Okay? So, after you do this cut, you don't have to bring the sword up and then down. Just from here, in, yo. In, yo. In, yo. Push. Push. From here, it's this is a transition point. Think of it like a U-turn. The sword pushes forward and cuts. Kesa. Okay? Everything has to be nice and smooth. So it takes a little refining, but much, much better. Really good. All right, Oleg, you're up. You want to try it? I know it's very, very tight. This is a walking one. So if you want to walk in place, totally cool.
Okay.
You want to try or do you want to try or no? Yeah? Okay. Ready? Okay. Baby steps. Walk in place. Ready? Hajime. Beautiful. Really, really good. One more time. Ready? Hajime. Beautiful. Really good. Fantastic, Oleg. Really, really good. So it's hard for me to comment because it's so tight for you. For you, the only thing I'd be mindful of is after you make this cut, closing your chest, cutting and sinking at the same time. Once you make the cut, turn the tip. Okay? Other than that, everything looked really beautiful. Very tight. If anything, to be honest with you, Oleg, you should be doing the Okuden version, the Yondan version of this, which is exactly the same thing. The only difference is that everyone's a little tighter. They're even closer to you as they're walking. The exact. That's the Okuden version, right? And at this point, the people are not like further away, but they're actually walking like right next to you. So there's no room at all to move. So that's what that kata is. Really, really good. Let's try Chudan all together one more time, and then we're going to go on to another kata. Okay? Here we go. You ready? Haj. Messed up. Too fast. Okay, really good. So let's do another kata. Let's try another one. Let me see which one we should do next. Okanagashi. Okay, so we'll do Okanagashi. All right, Okanagashi is very, very basic. It's blocking and cutting. Okay, so this one I'll demonstrate a couple of times. I've seen it done both from walking position and from Iai Gosh, but I like doing it in walking. And originally it didn't have a Mowari, and then he added a Mowari into it, so it makes it a little easier with Mowari, believe it or not. So I'll do it a couple times, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. So what am I doing? I'm walking. As I'm walking, the sword turns flat. I sink my weight into in position. In position, pushing up into yo position, blocking. Stepping forward. Now I'm in yo position, and I'm going to sink back down, cutting casagiri, but sinking and cutting in position, and then Mowari. Spinning back. So it's hard to do this without a second person. We do this with kumatachi as well. So the idea is that you are blocking with the cutting edge of the sword, and you're using that momentum of their cut to generate the power for your cut. We do this in Haruch as well as some of our kumatachi practice. And you can see this in other systems as well. Okay, let's try it a couple of times all together. Here we go. You ready? Left, right, left, sink your weight, in position, pushing up, yo position. This is up and forward, stepping up, yo, sinking your weight again, cutting casagiri in, turning the tip, and Mowari. Good. Again. Ready? Hajime. In position, sink your weight, yo, pushing forward and up, blocking, cutting casagiri in, turn, Mowari. Again. In position, yo position, in position, Mowari. So really, this is allowing your body to make that flexing motion. It's very, very important to do that. Okay, let's try it 2 more times, much faster, a little harder. Okay, there we go, full speed. Ready? Hajime. Good. One more time. Hajime. Don't want to hit my tree. You're very close to my tree from that one. Okay, let's see how you guys do. All right, Norbert, this is Okanagashi. Okanagashi. Ready? So relax your arms, right? This is walking, right? Hajime. Beautiful. Good. Again. Hajime. Good, Norbert. Okay, Norbert, this is what I want you to work on. Really, really good. This is what I want you to work on. So this one, you really want to bounce, okay? This is about sinking your weight into. So in position, yo position, yo position. You want to sink your weight with the cut. In position, turn the tip, and then more. Okay, so make sure you sink on that return cut. Okay, so make sure you sink, right? In position, yo, in. So you have to sink your weight on the way down. Okay, try it again. Ready? Hajime. Beautiful, much better. Good. One more time. Hajime. Good, much better. So you should feel like, and I hope this is working for you, but you should feel like you're getting that momentum when you come up and you're sinking your weight back down. You're taking that momentum from yo in, and as your weight, your tanden, your center is dropping, you're making that cut. So that's where tenuchi is really important. You don't want to bend your wrist when you're cutting. You want to make sure you preserve that cutting edge. Okay, really good. All right, Oleg, you ready?
I'm ready. Okay.
Yep. Don't break your refrigerator. Ready? Hajime. Good, good, good. One more time. Hajime. Beautiful. Fantastic. I know you're in a tight space, but you got the idea that you're opening yo and sinking your weight with the in. Really, really good. Fantastic. Okay, so let's do the next kata. We're going to do Kotigiri ippo me. This is one of my favorite kata. I like this one a lot because it's super fast, and you're cutting kote. So kote is wrist, okay? And you're cutting, the first kotigiri is cutting this way, the second one cuts this way, and the third one cuts this way. So this one is cutting this way. And this kotigiri, your opponent is just sits there and he grabs the weapon. All he's doing, the weapon from your opponent is here. The wrist is here, and you're cutting the wrist. You're cutting it this way, right? So the second he touches his sword, you're cutting. And it's very, very direct. So I'll demonstrate a couple of times, and then I'll break down what I'm doing, okay? And I'll move a little closer to the camera. So what am I doing? The first thing I'm doing is I'm in iai-goshi, right? This is chuyo position, neutral position. The first thing I'm doing is I'm stepping forward into space and I'm pushing the sword into the center. So the first step is this. I'm in iai-goshi, I'm pushing into in position, and I'm stepping into the space. In. This is the first step. in position. I'm in position, and then I'm quickly, as I step forward, yo position, and I'm cutting kote, the wrist, yo. Once I go to yo, I come back into in position, and then my back foot back foot turns out, my hip turns straight, and I do noto. So this is supposed to be done very quickly. The difference is I'm stepping into the space. So as I push forward, I'm stepping it out off to the side, okay? So I'm here, I'm stepping off to the side, and I'm pushing the sword into the center, okay? That's the first motion. And this is in position, stepping in, yo position. I touch, in position, turn my back foot out, my hip goes forward, and the sword turns up. Back to Iagoshi. Okay? So this is where it's very important to have proper grip. You want to make sure that when you step forward, you're pushing forward and you roll, cutting here, closing that cut. Try not, keep that tenuche great. Try not to bend your wrist. Let's do it 3 times all together, okay? And then I'm going to see how you guys do. Ready? Hajime. Again. Hajime. Again. Hajime. One more time. Here we go. Ready? Hajime. And remember, these are basically 2-foot razor blades. They are extremely sharp. You do not have to, our system, Rushin Shochiryu, the system is not designed to be hacking entire limbs every single time. It's not designed for that. Some of our cuts are designed just to make a huge gash in the wrist. You hit someone's wrist with the sword, you're basically, they run away. They're incapacitated at that point. They are no longer a threat. You move on to the next opponent. Okay, so this is supposed to be done very quick. In position, yo position, in position, chiyo. All right, we did it a couple times. Let's see how you do, Norbert. And this one's really designed for Oleg because it's super tight space. Ready, Norbert? Hajime. Good, Norbert. Again. Hajime. One more time. One more time. Ready? Good, Norbert. Okay, so Norbert, this is what I want you to work on. So, Norbert, you have to make it more direct. So, what do I mean by that? Don't draw the sword up, but just put the sword right to the target. So, don't draw the sword up, but put it right to the target. So, what do I mean by that? When you push the sword right in front of you. So, push the sword right to the target. If my opponent's here, just A to B, pointing it right to there. So, push the sword right to the target. Right to the target. So don't bring the sword up. The sword should never come up. It's too slow because you're telegraphing. This just goes right, just put it right to the target. So first step for you, this is what I want you to do. And both of you guys can try this. Zata, if you want to try it, I know your camera's off. Just stepping out and pushing in the center. So pushing right into the center. Then from here, stepping forward and cutting. Okay? Okay, Norbert, try it one more time. Let's see how you do. Actually, try it 2 more times. This is a fast kata. Ready? Hajime. Push right in the center. Beautiful. Much better. Good. Again. Good. Fantastic. So Norbert, now the little tip, this is the thing, next thing I want you to work on. You ready? Next thing I want you to work on is make sure you preserve that tenuche. So what do I mean by that? I mean, when you make that cut and you step forward and you cut, try not to bend the wrist. See how my wrist is bending? You want to make sure you keep proper grip. So that's what I want you to work on now. You have everything else down. Pushing in the center, proper grip, right? Proper grip. Try not to do this. Otherwise, fantastic. All right, Oleg, you ready? Fantastic. Ready? Hajime. Good, Oleg. Again. Hajime. Good, Oleg. Again. Hajime. Good, Oleg. Really good. Fantastic. So, Oleg, the only thing I would say is, and really, really good, just be mindful that you're not drawing up, but you're pushing the sword forward. Be as direct as you can to the target. Otherwise, fantastic. Really, really good.
Thank you, Sensei.
Really good. So it's 5:15. Let's see if we can get through all the. We have 3 more kata. So let's do. It's Ruby is the next one. This one is a little more. You have to be walking and stuff. This is Dragon's Tail. So I'll do it a couple times and then I'll explain what I'm doing. Okay. So this is Ruby. Okay. And this is also Nidan. I'll do it. I'll go this way this time, so you can see a totally different angle. So, what am I doing? I'm walking, and someone is coming behind me and going to cut me. So, as I'm walking, left, right, left, right. The second I take the left step, my sword turns over flat and I look behind me to see who's cutting. I step out off the line, right? So as I step off the line, my sword turns flat and I'm stepping behind me. Hard to see with my hakama up all. And it's chilly, so I apologize. So I'm walking, I step off the line and the sword draws up and I look behind me to see the person behind me. Once I turn, I'm pushing Yo, feet together. Make sure I have proper transition. I'm in yo position. And then as I sink my weight, I'm gonna cut and bring myself around in cutting mori. So I'm cutting either do or I'm cutting the head or wherever I can catch, okay? Once I step, I look behind and I'm drawing yo up, cutting and stepping back. Okay, this is Ruby Dragon's Tail, and it's meant to be almost like a whip, okay? So the idea is that when you step back, nice and strong. Okay, let's do this a couple of times all together and see how you guys do after a while. So let's do it like 3 or 4 times. I'm getting cold, so I want to move a little bit. Starting to get a little chilly. All right, here we go. Left, right, left, right, left, look behind, step off the line, drawing up, proper tenuch, yo to in, cutting, mawari. So you're making the cut with the mawari at this point. Again, I'll go this way. Ready? Hajime. Good. Again. Hajime. Good. One more time. Ready? Hajime. So you should always end facing the same direction you started, okay? So with this one, just be mindful as when you step off the line, you step off the line and you're turning your foot almost facing the opposite direction. You want to really step off the line and you're sinking your weight. You're drawing into yo position, yo, in. All right, let's see how you guys do. Ready, Norbert? All right. Hajime. One more time. Hajime. Left, right. Good, Norbert. Okay, so Norbert, this is what I want you to do. So you have to be mindful of where your opponent is, okay? So the reason I say that is you have to think about where the person is. So I'm going to use this stool to represent the bad guy, the person coming behind me, okay? So the person is here. I'm going to put the person right here so you can see it. So this is the opponent, and the opponent is directly behind me, and he's cutting this way. So when I step off the line, the second I step, the sword goes in. Don't turn and then draw. The second I turn, I start to draw. So that's the first thing. So yo, I look. Feet together. And you can see now, you can see my opponent. I'm off the line. So when I pivot my left foot, my left leg back around me, I want to make sure that I don't go back on the line because he's coming this way, right? So I want to be able to sweep around, cutting his head or his do. And you can see now that I'm next to the person. I'm not on the line anymore, okay? So be mindful of that, right? So when you're walking, think about where that person is, right? You step off the line and you look. but you don't want to be on this, you never want to be back on the same line, right? I don't want to, and then cut here again, because then I've missed him. I'm cutting next to him. I want to make sure my cut goes here. Okay? Try one more time. Think about where that target, where your opponent is. Okay? Ready? Hush. Off the line. Don't go back on the line. Look at where you're standing. Do you have a coat rack or something? Or a chair? Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So keep that directly behind. Stand right in front of that. And then turn. Step around, cut, and then sweep your left foot around. Right. See how you're off the line? Good. Beautiful. Really good. Did that help? I think that helps, right? Like you can see where that opponent, if you can see where your opponent is, you realize that you have to get off that line. Otherwise, you're missing the cut and you're on top of them. Don't destroy your whiteboard. All right, Oleg, you want to give it a shot? Don't destroy your refrigerator or your microwave.
I'm ready.
Hajime. Good. Again. Hajime. Beautiful, Oleg. So I know it's very, very tight for you. So the only thing I'm going to say is be mindful of when you're making that cut. I know it's very tight. It's not that you're not doing this. It's just, I know it's hard because you're in a very small space. When you make that turn and you're here, make sure that the sword is out and you're in proper grip. Then you're basically cutting, but you're stepping back around as well. You're stepping back with that cut as you sink your weight. Otherwise, really good, Oleg. Fantastic.
Hi.
All right. So the next one is Oyuch. We have 5 more minutes. So Oyuch, and then we'll pick up on. We'll do Oyuch quickly. So Oyuch is basically you're chasing someone. Okay. You're chasing someone and they turn. And as you're chasing them, okay, you're chasing them, and then all of a sudden they turn and they cut. And they cut low and ichimonji. So you are blocking, and then you are using Okanagashi, and it's cutting. It's an upside down version of Inazuma. It is basically the same as Inazuma. That is what I was told. And the way we're chasing in Iaigoshi. The sword comes into in position, and then we just drop the tip, cutting edge, drop the tip down, and you lift your foot up because the person is trying to cut your leg. So you cut, block, in, yo, in, and then everything else is the same. Okay, so I'll demonstrate a couple of times, and then we'll do it all together. Hopefully I'm not too bad at this. This is my hands are cold, so I'll do my best. Ready? Hush. cold. Whew. Anyway, so let's try it a couple of times all together. Now I'm going to demonstrate. So as I'm running, I'm chasing the person in iaigoshi. Chasing, chasing, chasing. The person turns and cuts. I push into in position, and I'm letting the tip, once the sword tip comes down, I just let it drop. And I'm dropping into proper grip. Tenuchi, squeezing, lifting my leg up because he's trying to cut my leg. I block, yo, in, then scoop, and then everything else is zashin, and then ochiburi and noto. So why is this upside down inazuma? Well, inazuma is the same thing. Yo, and then you're making that loop, right? Normally, when we do inazuma, the loop is in front of the shodan, at least is in front of the face, right? We're making the loop in front of the face of the opponent. This time, the face of the opponent is here. The person has turned and they're cutting here. So you're above them. You're over here, right? So you're making that loop here. Okay, let's try it 2 times all together. Okay, here we go. Ready? So starting in iaigoshi, hajime, running, 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 running. In, drop the sword, blocking, opening your chest. Yo, lift your foot up. In, yo, in, cutting, casagiri. Scooping, hombo no kamae, wakigame no kamae. This is all zashin, nice and slow. Seiga no kamae, ochiburi, noto. One more time. Here we go. Hajime. Good. All right, let's see how you guys do. All right, Norbert, you ready? Hajime. Good. One more time, please. Ready? Hajime. Good, Norbert. So Norbert, couple little things. This is what I want you to work on. So on the draw, try to let the draw go into, it's a yo in position, yo position, and I want you to make sure that you're keeping that grip. Don't let your wrist bend. So when you're running, pushing in position, both sides, yo, open your chest, yo. See how I'm not letting it out, but I'm keeping it proper tenuchi. Yo, bring the chest in again. In, make that loop. Yo, cutting. And make sure you're cutting casagiri. You're cutting very, very steep. So what you're doing is you're doing this, boom, and you're cutting almost vertically. So make sure you're cutting casagiri, okay? Casagiri, and then from here, don't bring the sword straight back, but remember, scoop, and up, okay? Then everything else, nice and slow. From here, don't bring the sword all the way your tsuba shouldn't be aligned with your nose, but the top of the tsuka here. So bring this to your nose, then inhale, then bring everything up and over. Okay? Fantastic. Do it one more time. You ready? There you go. Ready? Hold on a second. Okay, ready? Hajime. Block. So just in front of you. Remember, the person's cutting low. So the cut is cutting right at your feet. So bring it right in front of you. Right. Good. Inhale, up. Beautiful. Good. Much better, Norbert. Fantastic. Really good. All right, Oleg, you want to give it a shot? I know it's hard to see. Ready? Hajime. Good, Oleg. Good, Oleg. Oleg, the only thing I'm going to say is slow down your zasen a little bit. And then also on that scoop, make sure you don't have, when you scoop from here, it should be quick, just a scoop. So when we do a Nazama Shodan, it's big and pronounced. That's just the Shodan version. This one is just quick. Okay?
Okay.
So that's the only comment I have. Really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we have one more kata for Nidan. It's getting late, but let's do the last kata and then we're going to call it a day. Okay? So this is a very difficult kata. This one I was told is one of the few. There's like 3 or 4 kata that are meant to do as fast as you can do them. This is supposed to be as fast as you can do it. This is Shiraito, which is called white line, and you're cutting right over the I believe the right eye of your opponent. Okay, I'll demonstrate this a couple of times, and then I'm going to explain what I'm doing. Okay. Ugh, terrible. I'm working on this one. This is a really hard kata. So what am I doing? First thing I'm doing is I'm stepping in the center. So I'm in Iai Gosh, and this is a little trick. You always step right in the middle. So instead of stepping straight, I'm stepping right in the center line, okay? And as I step into the center line, I'm pushing into in position once the sword gets, and the sword draws flat all the way. So I step in the middle line and I push at the same time into in position. And once the sword is just about out of the tip, then the sword turns over and I open my hip, cutting straight, right? Once the sword cuts and I reach and I cut, the sword just comes right back. And when it does, I turn my hip, my back foot out, and it lines right up. So I'm kind of reaching with this cut. I'm extending my body. So you want to make this line here into one line, right? So I'm really reaching my whole body. You can see this is how I'm reaching, right? So this is the angle, and the key is stepping into that center line, okay? So pushing forward, cutting, and then the sword comes right back. You can keep your hip forward. Once you touch, your knee bends. Okay? So I'll do it again, nice and slow. For me, I like to pull the saya out a little bit. And drop my weight. Let's try it 3 times all together, okay? Nice and slow. This one, you're supposed to go fast. I want you guys to do it nice and slow, okay? Here we go. Ready? This is Shiraito. Hajime. Again. Ready? Hajime. Again. Ready? Hajime. Last one. Ready? Hajime. And again, this is you're purely just pushing forward. You're pushing forward into in position, yo position. Okay? If you don't step into that center line, and this is a mistake that I was making for a really long time, is I was doing this. I would cut straight, and when the sword would come straight back, it would whack me in the face. So I would turn my head to get it in. So I realized after doing this, hitting myself in the head for about 6 months, if you step into the center and you cut, then when the sword comes back, it just comes back straight into that straight line. So that was my little discovery. I hope that helps you. All right, let's see how you guys do. All right, Norbert, you ready? So this is Shiraito. Ready? Hajime. Good. Again. Hajime. Good. One more time. Do it the other way. Ready? Hajime. Good. Beautiful. Really good, Norbert. So, Norbert, this is what I want you to work on. Otherwise, overall, it was really, really good. What I want you to work on is as you make that, once you make that cut, bring it right back into no tilt. Don't stop. Okay? So, cut and right back. Okay? Cut. Once you touch, bend your knee down and up. Okay? Really good, Norbert. Fantastic. One more time. Ready? Hajime. Bend your knee. Good. Really good, Norbert. Fantastic. All right, Oleg, you ready?
Yes, okay.
Shiraito. Ready? Hajime. Again. Ready? Hajime. Good. All right, Oleg. The only thing I want to say is make sure you. There's a lot of discussion about this, and I could be wrong. So I've seen Yahage Sensei do it both ways, which is when you step forward, preserving your tenuch, extending, and then coming back. I've also seen Sensei do it this way, where he bends his wrist. My take on it is, don't bend your wrist. I think keeping tenuch is always very important. So when you do this, you want to keep this. Try not to do that. Okay, that's my preference. You'll see Sensei bend his wrist. I think there's like Sensei can do it, and sometimes he does things. He'll kind of it's kind of like do as I say, not as I do, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So he varies in the way he does it sometimes, but fantastical, like really, really good. All right, guys, it's getting late. I got to go finish cleaning my house and doing laundry and all that fun stuff. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you guys enjoyed the class. Zlata, Oleg, give my love to Dimitri and Yuri and everybody in Ukraine. Our thoughts are with you guys. We're pulling for you. So, please keep us abreast. Make sure if you need anything, let us know. And you're in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you guys for coming today. Norbert, great seeing you. Norbert, reach out to Maxie. Our friend Maxie is in Munich, and I know she hasn't picked up a sword in a while. So I'm trying to convince her to come back again. So maybe you can convince her to train a little more. All right, great to see you guys. Let's pray out, and we'll call it a day. And for everybody who joined us on YouTube, we hope you enjoyed the class. We do teach online. You can visit us on patreon.com/NYBA. We're a not-for-profit Japanese school here in New York City. We study Rushin Shochi-ryu directly under Yahage Sensei in Tokyo. And we love teaching online. We have a blast. So we hope you can enjoy us. If you did like this, subscribe to us, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, give us a follow on all the social media channels, and check us out. So thank you again, and let's ray out. And thank you for joining us again. Shomini, right? Sensei ni, right? Otaga ni, right? Arigatou gozaimashita.
ありがとうございました。
To ni, right? Thank you, guys. And again, thank you to our friends at Illusum Tabi. So these Tabi are awesome. If you are training in martial arts and you are doing Kendo or EI, these are really cool. They are basically sneakers, and they are Tabi sneakers. They're super comfortable. They have good soles, and they are perfect for EI and Kendo and Naginata. And if you're doing any kind of Budo outside, absolutely fantastic. So check out illusum.com. They're really good. Thank you, guys. Have a great time. Have a great happy, and by the way,
goodbye.
Happy Easter, everybody. Thank you, guys.